Real talk, real people. We are the voice of the people, so let's talk. Who's better for the people to hear than the people themselves? Hello and welcome to another show, True Talk. Thank you everybody for joining. We've got another epic show coming up right now. We have a lovely young lady, a lovely talented young lady who has blown me away with her testimony on how she uses music. And, stay tuned. It's going to really be something for you to hear, food for thought and encouragement. So right now I want to introduce Kelly Erez. Kelly, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good, thanks. How you doing?
That's not too bad. Lovely for you to join us on our show today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so let's get into this because, we spoke the other day and I know that I was saying to you, like, you just blew me away with your testimony there. So as I've already mentioned, you're a singer, yeah?
Yeah.
Singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
And also a life coach.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the singing. At what age did you realize you could sing?
I spent my childhood singing. I think I could sing. Well, I was singing before I could talk. I remember being 7 when I wrote my first proper song on the keyboard, or piano, one of those things. But I always grew up with music in my house because my older sister, Natalie Erez, she is a singer-songwriter, producer. So I always had music being created around me. And she taught me how to sing harmonies and we'd write together and stuff. And then kind of, doing my own things as well, which is really cool.
That's great. So your sister got you into music?
Yeah, we did. We actually have it in our family. I think it's our great grandma or something. We don't really know too much information, but apparently she was a famous singer, and she traveled everywhere, and people would request her to sing at events and things. And my dad's musical; he plays different instruments, and so we had it around us.
Okay. So music is a big part of your life.
Yeah.
So I want to get into this because I really want the listeners to hear this. So you use music for therapy, don't you?
Yeah, it's an outlet for me. It whether I'm listening to it or creating it, it's just such a powerful vehicle to get my feelings out. Whether it's through someone else's work that I'm just relating to a song, or whether I'm writing my thoughts. I call my songs like diary entries to melodies.
Okay.
Most of them are autobiographical, and it's just a nice way of releasing the energy and what's going on, my thoughts in my head.
Mm-hmm. So tell us a bit about that, because you went through a little bit of a hard time. Just tell us about that and how music got you through that.
Well, I think like a lot of us, we all go through our trials and tribulations, are things that happen to us. Music's just always been there. So whenever I've gone through something, whether it be health wise or maybe things that people have said around me that might upset me, music is my go-to, and I normally sit there with my either a pen and paper and I jot things down, or nowadays it's in my phone. Or I used to walk around with a dictaphone all the time. Now I do it on my voice notes on my phone, which is brilliant. Okay. And I just kind of would make up stuff about what was going on, make up lines that would fit.
What was going on at the time? Because I know you wanted to become a professional singer, and some things were said to you that kind of made you stop and got you into a sad place.
Well, I always loved to sing and write, and since I was young, image has always been really important to people that I've approached or people that have approached me with music. And I'm not sure how deep to go into this and whether to make a thing of it. I know I mentioned before I wasn't sure if I'd talk about it, but let's just say that image is important. And a lot of people, even when I was a lot smaller than I am now, people would say to me, I'll come back when we can put you on the cover of FHM, or, or I'd sing at a place like in Covent Garden, the Spot. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but it was a really cool underground bar. And we'd go and, it's so amazing. There'd be live musicians and stuff. Anyway, so I'd like sing and we'd get on and it would be really cool. And then people would come up to me after, and then they'd be like, yeah, you were really good, but you see your friend, like, you need to look like her, and like, we'll call me when when you're a lot slimmer. And I was like so much slimmer then. I was like size 12, 14. So anyway, but basically what was happening is that I had a lot of things like this happen during my, I don't know if a quest or during my journey to be doing music. Yeah. And I just kept encountering people that said, whether it was management or people around me, producers, and they'd just be like, sorry, but if you want to make it anorexics on the CV, you've got to be super slim. Oh. And at the time, I just didn't even really think so much about it. I just thought, okay, I get it. It's music business. And, it's really strange to start an interview. I've never, ever, ever spoken about this. It's very strange to start talking about this, but just while we're on it, there was, for example, somebody that I was working closely with, and we were recording music together, and as I say, I was a lot slimmer. I wasn't like a stick or anything, but I remember one thing in particular that still kind of feels really uncomfortable for me to think about. And he said, imagine that there's these singers, there's these things going on a conveyor belt at a shop, and he said that I'm like a defective product, and people were like not going to want it. They're just going to want to put it back, or like not, or And so I grew up just thinking, I don't know, I'm a very like understanding person. Like, and whenever someone would say anything to me, I would just be like, okay, I understand why they're saying that, and blah, blah, blah. But it's not now, and now I'm older, time's passed, and I've been through a lot of other stuff, as I didn't go into detail, but briefly mentioned a few health things that happened. But it just puts it into perspective. And now I just think, it's great to like be, it's great to be me, and regardless of what I look like, and I do think that it's nice, and it's good to be healthy and slim or whatever, like whatever's comfortable. I do agree with that, but not everyone can be like that all the time. And I think what I've learned from this is, instead of pausing on something that you love or something that's your outlet, which for me was music, because I went through a few years where I thought, oh, I'm not gonna. Maybe I can't do this. So then I switched to more songwriting for other people. And then I just thought, oh no, but I love to sing. Like, I want to do it as well. Yeah. And it just took me a long time. And then I realized it's about finding people that accept you and that want to work with you. And that isn't at the forefront of their minds. And so things are just much better since I've gone back to it. Sorry.
That's great. So how did you actually, that's crazy. You're a defective item. That's nuts. That is so not. It's your talent. Your talent is supposed to be making room for you, and they're coming off all that. So, how did you get through? What did you use to get through them times?
Well, at the time, I think I was just like matter of fact about it. I was just like, okay, I get it. Like, I need to just lose weight, and I need to do this and do that. And I was going to the gym, and I was, I don't know, like eating, like going on this diet and that diet. And I just didn't think too much about it, but it was a while later. And then what would happen is that people would leave me. They'd be like, oh, there's nothing really we can do with you anymore. Like, we're not going to be able to take this further because I didn't look the part. And then we'd end like our professional relationship in that sense. And it left me feeling a bit like, wow, okay, that's not very nice. But, and, this was years ago, before we had, Instagram and Facebook and all that kind of thing. But it was really important. Like, it was an important time, because at that time I was immersed with people who I was making music with, and surrounded myself with these people who were on a journey, but just mainly because I didn't get down to get down to model thin. It just didn't work out. So it did have a very, very big impact on my self-esteem, and it's taken me years to undo it. And I feel like funny saying this because people go through so much worse. This was only, just one part of something that can happen to someone, but it is very powerful. Words are very, very powerful. Words have meaning and attachment to them. And, when you hear someone say something to you, if it's negative, like we tend as people to replay those in our minds maybe a bit more than the positive sometimes, and it wasn't so nice, but I am doing much better now. Like I feel like I've stripped away like the negativity, and it's much more acceptable to be ourselves now as well. It's amazing what some of these other artists are doing. And not just with weight. I mean, for me, it was with weight, but for a lot of other people, it was mental health and depression and anxiety, all these things. Everyone, has their own something that they battle with. And it's so much better now. We can just be a bit more honest about how we are. And not everything's dependent on, one person or one company to decide to, take it further with you. You can release music yourself, and it's great.
Which is great. So now you can be like your own boss. But what happened to your music in that time? Did you use it to heal yourself? Did you just put it down? What actually happened to music with you in that time?
I always wrote. There was a time when I was promoting some music, and then I just felt, gosh, I can't go out like this. A lot of people are saying I'm overweight and they're going to laugh, these horrible things. And I wasn't even that fat. I was like a size 12, like 14, sometimes a 16, like it wasn't horrendous. Like and even if it was, it's just not nice to be treated like that. But I understand, because the people that that I had around me were, sorry, I'm just going a bit off your question. I just wanted to say that the people that are around me, they're also like under pressure. So they're thinking, okay, we've got to get this person ready, and then that's going to attract the attention. We'll have a better chance of working with, a big company because that's what they want, and blah, blah, blah. So everyone, I think, were just trying to pull together and doing their bits, but it just wasn't a comfortable, ideal situation. So, and then there was a point where I kind of stopped doing music. And I kind of thought, maybe it's not meant to be. Maybe I'm not meant to be doing this. But I couldn't put it down for long at all. It's just my everything to me is my therapy. It's my outlet. And
I think that's great for people to hear, like, not to give up on your dream, because the things we're born with those are the things that's supposed to make room for us. And anybody and everybody sometimes feels like, when you're going somewhere, you have a dream to get there, it's like the whole world and its mother come against you to try and force you not to go where you need or where you want to go and need to go. So I'm glad to hear that you did not give up. But anyway, continue. Sorry, I don't want to...
No, it's okay. No, you're right. You're right. It's true. But you know what the funny thing is that a lot of the people that were saying these things to me were actually really nice to me. And I think that made it really like even more confusing. I don't know. It was just like, it was so strange. Like now I think about it, more objectively. Yeah. And I think back to it and I just think, these people, I spent a lot of time with them over the years, like a lot of my, formative years, like in terms of coming into myself and growing into an adult from from teenage years to, adulthood and, in my 20s. And so I just remember feeling, oh yeah, they're right. And then me just being embarrassed to turn up. Like I'd go somewhere and they'd look me up and down and be like, I remember there was one time I turned up to a photo shoot and this one, oh God, this is really weird. I feel like I'm just bashing everyone. But I just remember this time I turned up for a photo shoot and one of the people that I was working with was, they sort of swear. They were like, oh, for F's sake, Kelly, like, why couldn't you lose weight? And now the pictures aren't going to be like, it's just really, like, and now I just think about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, it's crazy. And they meant well, like they just thought because they wanted the whole project to to be real. But everyone's got issues. Like, they need to chill out. Do you know what I mean? They need to, there's more important things in life. Like, for goodness sake.
So you go coming up in that time, didn't you see other big artists singing?
Yeah, but it was difficult.
I remember on the telly watching a lot of big women, like, so not a lot, but I remember seeing some big women that could, and some big men that could really sing, but they were massive. You probably say they're obese, but they were they could sing, and that never stopped them from going anywhere. So
I know, it's great, isn't it? It's great. I think I lost a lot of confidence. I think that just comes across. I think when someone, it's how you take it, like, when someone comes across as unconfident and nervous, and they, believing that they're not meant to be there because they're not ready yet, it just doesn't really work as well as someone who just thinks this is how it is now, and this is my thing and I'm doing it. I think that can make a big impact. And also, whenever I did say something like, compare myself to other larger singers, they would say the same thing to me. The people that I was working with, they'd be like, well, that's the exception rather than the rule. And well, you don't have a voice that's like as powerful, and that voice suits that person, and it suits them to have a big body and a big voice. And I don't know, it's just, there was every explanation given to me under the sun. And yeah, it definitely impacted me. Well, I refuse to let it impact me anymore. I'm on my journey, and for people.
You ain't told us how the music has healed you. Going up on get to you.
How has it healed me? Well, it's like, it's a release. So I write down what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, and when I hear it back, it's almost like affirmative, like it's affirming my positive beliefs, or I don't know. And a lot. Sorry, I've got to stop saying that. I don't know. I think about, and also relationships. A lot about relationships that I wrote, and so sometimes it's not. I'm focused on other things, and music heals emotions. Whether I'm talking about past relationship or a breakup, or maybe feeling a bit isolated, or I don't know what I was like. There's a song that I wrote called Letters. I mean, this is going back a while back now. I think it was 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
And it was on my first EP, and it was one of the first things that I put up on YouTube years ago, an acoustic version, with my sister playing it on the keyboard. And that was about, having a feeling that the person that I was with was seeing somebody else at the same time. Okay. And how we wrote that, my sister came round one day, and she was like, right, we've got to get rid of all the clutter. And I remember she was like, right, you don't need this, you don't need that. And we were going through all my cupboards and getting rid of like clothes and old letters and all of this that I didn't need. So things that could go to charity shop and things. And places. And I remember I had all these like letters and photographs and past relationships, friendships, or people I was close with that maybe didn't pan out, that was relevant for a time. And I'll be like, oh, but they're memories and I want to keep it. And she was like, my sister was like, no, you've got to get rid of it. Just keep a few select things in a memory box that make you feel good, and don't have this energy lingering around. That's so right. And then like sometimes everything's got energy, and so sometimes when you hold on to things, it's hard to move on, like, because you've got less space to hold on to the next thing. And so I say that again,
or even to look forward to something. It's harder for you to look.
That's forward. Right. Because you're like focused on what has been. Anyway, so we got rid of some stuff, and I just felt so much better. And my sister's also a hairstylist, and she cut my hair shortly after. And I just remember it was something very energetic about cutting hair. I love long hair. I mean, I love it, but there was something energetic about cutting hair and just starting anew, like fresh. And that made a big difference. So anyway, that song made a big difference to me because it was about moving on. So some of the words are, now I'm getting rid of all your letters, messages on my phone, because right now getting over you's what matters. Can't let go while moving on, for example. And and then when I put it out, I remember I was getting all these messages that were so lovely, these messages on YouTube from listeners. And they would be like, oh, I've been listening to this song while clearing out my garage, and it's really helped me get over this relationship, and thank you. And it's so cool that it's like had a bit of an impact for people. It's amazing.
Yeah, because I think one of the reasons why I call my show True Talk, and I've now evolved it into True Talk with real people, where I'm going to be doing more interviews like this, is because we are the voice of the people are the voice of the people. So who better to talk to the people than the people themselves? That we're on the ground with everybody. We're not up there we're not celebrities. We're here on the ground with everybody, and to know that you can get through this, and you're not a celebrity, you're not at that big status, it's giving more hope to someone to say, you know what, I think I can do it as well.
Yeah.
So it's I'm very proud of you, and it's amazing that you actually got through it and kept your dream. Because some people get through stuff, but they forget their dream, you know.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I think you've done amazing. So well done to you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of people, they think, you know, some people just think more business minded, you know, like equate success with, you know, monetary reward or whatever, and you know how famous someone is and stuff. And that would be great. I'm aiming to get more exposure, and I would love my music to go further. I would, but I feel like it is successful. It's already successful because I'm now, you know, I'm putting my feelings out. I'm creating this music. I'm working with wonderful musicians and producers. I'm, you know, recording, releasing stuff on Spotify, putting stuff up on YouTube, Instagram, whatever. And even that in itself is a success, because how many times, you know, it's common. So many people could just wish to do it and think and not put themselves out there, which is what I spent a good few years doing, because I felt nervous to put myself out there again. What are people going to say? What are this? What are that? And I just thought, it's just, what is the point? Like, how much time can we waste doing that? Like, who cares? And I read this post, I think, from someone. They said something like, you know, when people think, oh, shall I post this or this picture or that? And what are people going to say? Like, I think I read this post and someone said, like, no one cares. Like, and I just thought, you know what? That's quite cool. Obviously, not in a bad way, but as in, like, so what if it's not like the perfect picture or the perfect angle? We've got like double chins or I don't know, whatever.
Actually perfect. I mean, a lot of them people out there on like the front covers of magazines or on the internet, they've all been airbrushed. You know what I mean? They've all been chopped a certain way. You know, so even sometimes when you got to sing, they can't sing live and things like that. You know, so sometimes they sell you a dream to a lie.
Yeah. Do you remember years ago there was what was her name? There was her name has gone out of my head, from Mystique. You know, the singer with curly hair. Do you remember who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I remember her name. But anyway, go on.
You know,
go on.
anyway, I remember one time watching this program that she did, and she went, and you know, she's gorgeous, and she went round to all these magazines and tried to find someone who would agree to put her in the magazine. I can't remember if it was on the cover or just an article, without any airbrushing. And everyone refused. They were like, no, we can't do that. And I remember she went on this mission, literally, and she was, you know, already famous and gorgeous, and no, I don't know if she found one person at the end, I'm not sure, but I just remember her showing that loads of people said, no, we can't do that straight away, even before they'd even taken pictures. It's crazy.
Because it's all glitz and glamour. It's not,
it's
not reality.
Yeah, and you know, it's nice sometimes. Like, why not, you know, enhance something a bit, but it's not like all the time, and not too much, because otherwise it's like it ends up looking like a cartoon. Like, why, you know? Like, it's nice to be like real.
Not even that. It's like, it's also to be told that you can't cut it because of your weight as well.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous. I mean, how many other young people, male and female, are going through that right now? That's stupid.
Yeah. And I do, you know, like. Sorry, go on.
No, I'm glad you come on the show to actually, you know, tell people that you can do it no matter. Because I say all the time to them, I say, you know, make a decision and just go for it. You know, and I'm glad that you've come to give us your little testimony there about your life, because there's many people in situations that feel like they can't do it, or they've been told that they can't do it, and then that word, like you said, is quite powerful, as held them in bondage. And
Mm.
we need to get rid of them things and look forward and go forward and not look back. My mum always
Yeah.
told me never look back, no matter what I'm doing, never look back. So it's hard for me now to look back on something. I guess I have to keep going because she drummed it into me from a kid.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
Yeah, look to the future. I think
yeah,
it's good. It's good to obviously reflect, back and like learn and things like that, but not to be held in the past.
yeah.
Like look forwards. Don't look back for reference or whatever, but not to
I
like
think,
live in the past.
yeah, exactly. I think some people, they don't know how to not let their past dictate their future. They allow it to happen. They don't know how to
Yeah.
let it happen. So, I'm glad you come on the show, because I'm sure so many people are gonna now think, right, I can do this. You know, uh,
It'd be amazing if it inspires anyone. That'd be amazing. Like if it does inspire anyone, please let me know. I would love to hear anything,
I
any
want to
stories.
now about your life coaching.
Yeah.
Right. So, how did you get into that then?
So I've always been interested in personal development. I remember when I was, how old was I? I don't know, 13 or something. I'd go to WH Smith after school, and I'm from Stratford in East London, and I used to have to get like a bus and a train to school. So on the way back, I used to go to WH Smith, and I used to look at the music magazines like Blues and Soul and things that I couldn't afford. I just wanted to look through. And then there were two sections I'd go to. So there was a music section, and then there was the personal development section. And I'd flick through different books. And I just think this is so cool. Like all these like books about how we can how we can change our thoughts and how our mind works and have positive affirmations. And I think one of the first books that I picked up was, do you remember The Little Book of Calm? It's like a tiny book.
No, I've never.
You maybe you would like recognize it if you saw it, but it was just a little book, and it had little quotes in, or little suggestions that you could do, one on each page. Like, I can't even think of an example now, but maybe something like, look at the sky and appreciate, I don't know, what's going on around, or something, the bird in the sky or something, and it would just calm you down. And I'd just always be drawn to these books, and I'd think, I'd read like nuggets of information. I'd think like people should know this. Like I want to learn more so I can try and pass it on to people. And sorry, were you going to say something?
No.
Oh, no. I waffled, didn't I? Sorry. And,
Okay.
Yeah, go on.
So when you're going through your life coach, what method do you use? Do you use people have different methods. Some people, they want to know about the history. Some people use to bring them to a place where they're open to talk, or they get them more comfortable. What do you use to help somebody get through their thing?
So my coaching style is really relaxed. It's almost like this, I would sit with somebody, and it's kind of like conversations on a couch type thing, with a cup of coffee or tea or herbal tea or whatever, water, and we'd sit down. At the moment I'm doing a lot on Zoom and online because of the whole lockdown thing, and even before that I was doing quite a bit online as well, because people can be from all over the place and connect, which is amazing. And typically we would so we'd start by talking about what's going on in the person's life, and then we'd narrow it down to some things that would be really useful to talk about. And then initially, once we'd get started with our first proper coaching session, we'd pick a topic, and then I sort of guide the person through what would their outcome be, what would they like to achieve at the end of the session. So for example, let's say let me think of a topic. So let's say that they are confused about whether to end a relationship. I don't know why I've just gone to that, but I think it's because of the letters reference. But anyway, let's just say they're not sure whether to end a relationship, for example. So I would say something like, what, we talk about the relationship, and I'll be like, what would you like to arrive at the end of the session? So maybe they might say, I just want to be a little bit clearer.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll say how much clearer. Maybe we'll have to put a percentage or something so we can measure it. Or maybe they'll just say, I want to actually arrive at a decision, or I don't know, they'll just pick something. And then I'll ask some questions like, how will you know when you've got there, and what can I do to help? What role would you like me to play? And we'll have this conversation, and I would ask them sort of insightful questions that would make them change their perspective or see things differently or reinforce what they already thought. And it's just really helpful to have someone to bounce off.
Do you use music for this life coaching?
I do actually. Sometimes I coach people, and sometimes I encourage them to put their feelings into a song. So sometimes it can actually turn into a songwriting session, or or we'll think of a song that represents what they're going through, and we'll dissect the lyrics, and we'll talk about how it relates to them. I also do a coaching in the music industry, so I coach other singers, other artists, producers, because they're under a lot of pressures, and I can relate to some of those pressures and being in the same industry, and it's quite useful to speak to somebody who kind of I have a lot of patience and a lot of empathy, and this is what people say, and I just feel like I have, because I love it. Like it really brings me a pleasure. Like I want to try to help people and be there for them, and it's just nice to speak to somebody who's calm and who can. They could just feel. People say to me like they feel like they can tell me stuff. Like they tell me stuff that they've never told anyone else, or they just feel comfortable. Like it's non-judgmental, and sometimes they might just want to know how to reduce their anxiety, and we can do things like affirmations or meditation. So it's real mixed.
You say meditation?
Yeah, for example, so there might be, whether it's like a breathing exercise or a guided meditation. So maybe like from head to toe, for example, if I'll be like, okay, so this thought that you're thinking of, like where are you feeling it now, and then imagine it passing through down your head and your neck and your shoulders, and it going out into your hands, down your arms and out your hands, things like that. And visualizations, maybe they've got a goal they want to achieve. They want to, I don't know, whether it's to buy a house, or they want to change jobs, or find a partner. And sometimes we do visualizations.
Okay, so then go after it.
There's things that we can do, like vision boards, and then having a life coach is. I think a lot of people that don't. It's quite new. The concept's quite new to them still, or just a bit unfamiliar. But so it's kind of somewhere in between a counsellor and, I'm not sure if mentor is the right word, but someone just to bounce off, like a buddy. And it's good to check in with that person. So whether it's weekly sessions or fortnightly, so we'll write goals and we'll say, what do they want to achieve by the next session? And there'll be, like homework, like fun work, whatever to do. And it's really rewarding, and it's so nice to be on the call with someone and then say, when you say, how did it go last week? What did you do? And they're like, oh yeah, I did this. I finished my coursework, or I, wrote this song, or I found this producer, whatever it is what's their goal. I cooked more. I don't know. I was more organised. I got round to doing that spring clean finally. It's just, God, it sounds like a real selling pitch that I'm doing. But I just get really excited about it. Sorry.
You mentioned something. I think I might get a mood board. Kind of board to make me get focused a bit more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guess everybody wants to know what you sound like when you sing. So, could you drop us a couple bars or a couple notes?
That's funny. Okay, 1 second. Let me think.
Yeah, get it.
All right. Okay. There's a song
Yeah.
that I've written called Shine. I wrote it with a producer called Joe Rodwell originally.
Yeah.
And we've just done a remix of it with the Urban Underground Soul Collective. The producer that I'm working with called Kenny Hyper, and we're just editing like a kind of home video about it. So I'm going to release it soon. But this is all about feeling our emotions and being comfortable with expressing how we feel. Like not stopping ourselves from crying if we need to cry to get it out and make us feel better. So it's called Shine. So maybe I'll sing a little bit of that.
Go ahead.
All right. This is so weird. Okay, hang on. Baby, I know it's been hard on you. So many stories being told to you. This way, that way, don't wanna go the wrong way. But I'm here for you, while you find your way. Anyway, so that's kind of like that being with someone that's supporting them.
Yeah, round of applause. That was great. So where can everybody find you?
So I'm on Instagram. Instagram it's Kelly Erez, so KELLYEREZ. YouTube.com/Kelly Erez. On Facebook it's Kelly Erez Music. My website kellyerez.com, and on True Talk.
True Talk, yeah, definitely. Yeah. This is gonna be really big. I'm really thankful for you coming on the show, Kelly.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm sure people would have been benefiting from the things you've said, because, like I said before, not everybody has gone through something and kept their dream. You know, they've changed directions. And on the moral of the story, guys, hold on to what's yours. Whatever you have, even if it's drawing, you know, it's your talent, it's your gift from above.
So true.
Yeah, go out there and claim what's yours. It's not no one else's, it's yours. If it wasn't yours, you wouldn't have it. So you have it for a reason. Go out there, and the Bible says that your gifts will make room for you. So go and do something with your gift. Kelly, I want to thank you again for coming. Kelly, I want to thank you again for coming. Lovely people, have a great day, afternoon, morning, wherever you are. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much. Take care.
You know, bye.
Bye.
You can find this podcast on the iTunes Store, the Apple Podcast app, Google Play Store, and all other leading podcast apps. Just search for True Talk Podcast, which is hosted by Deep Sound Radio. Hit the subscribe or follow button when you find it. That way you'll get a notification when each new episode has landed every Monday morning. Alternatively, you can listen via the website on deepsoundradio.com and click on True Talk in the podcast menu.